local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. A very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook so you could take notes and important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Nathaniel Reed. On behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a great day today, reminding you life is what you make of it. Happy Thursday, Thursday 22nd of January 2026. And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. It's your anniversary. Happy anniversary to you and yours. I always remind you, don't take your loved ones for granted. Tomorrow is not promised. All right? And Nathaniel, let's go to our quote, please. And our quote says, don't use social media to impress people. Use it to impact people. Don't use social media to impress people. Use it to impact people. And you'll understand this quote and you'll appreciate it even more when I introduce my guest today on our topic. Thank you so much for that, Nathaniel. And this morning, I am in conversation with Dr. Tahira Ramsuk. She's a clinical psychologist and she wears many hats. She'll tell us all about the amazing work that she's been doing. And today she's going to be talking to us about social media and the impact on our youth. Good morning, a warm welcome and a happy new year.
Good morning to you, Zelisa, and of course good morning to our viewers and happy new year to you all. You know, I'm always so happy to be on your program, sharing my insights. I look at your other programs as well, I love that there's such a variety on the topics that are discussed because it's all about education and empowerment.
It is, and let me let our viewers know near and far, we've been behind her since last year, but you are so consumed and that is a good thing. You do amazing work, and I think for the benefit of our viewers near and far, perhaps you can enlighten us a little bit about all of the amazing work that you've been doing.
Of course. So I'm a clinical psychologist and I deliver psychoeducational evaluations. I also do therapy, individual therapy, as well as group therapy. So I co-facilitate with another psychologist where we see youths, young ones, little ones, we call them tots. We have our tween and sometimes we have teen groups as well. Apart from that, I have been trained to deliver remedial reading services as well as comprehension to youths, children, even adults who may have learning challenges.
Brilliant. So you really work hand in hand with children. I know that you love children.
I absolutely do. I have that passion. I work across the board, but yes, I have a passion for working with our youth and our young ones.
And I think when you have a passion to do something, you don't work, it just comes naturally because you love it so much.
Absolutely.
And you invest so much of your time and energy to help develop. And that is what I love about you firsthand. A very infectious personality, I must say.
Thank you.
But what is also important is that you're a very humble soul. So you could connect. And that is important. You make people around you feel very comfortable enough to open up. That's why you're so good at what you do. I want to get into, I know you're involved with a couple NGOs. Let's talk a little bit about that, if that's all right with you.
Of course. So I am a member on the board of Childline Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Zelisa, I should mention, Childline has been in existence since 2001. In fact, this year, Childline Trinidad and Tobago will be celebrating its 25th anniversary. Now, Childline is an NGO that has remained committed and dedicated to the protection and well-being of our youth. So Childline delivers many services, which include their 24/7 helpline. There is free counseling services. They offer workshops to schools. They also put so much content out there to help youths, but not only youths, to help our parents as well. So again, with the goal of educating and empowering.
Brilliant. And I'm sure, as you said, 25 years and going strong, that's a great accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And certainly when you talk especially about the free services and that line that you have to connect at any point of time is great. In terms of 25 years, I know that you would have grown from strength to strength. Could you identify, I mean, I know we're talking a little off topic, but I think it's important now that we've gone into this, so people will have a greater understanding how they can reach out and get assistance. With regards to some of the burning problems that you face time after time.
Yes.
That's at the top of the list, that is.
Right, so there are, I mean, so many issues, and we can take data from Childline, for instance.
Yeah.
We have family conflict is a major issue, and in fact, I believe it is the second highest category of callers that we have on the helpline, and this will include things like parent-child communication challenges. We have just conflicts within the family, parents, siblings not connecting. Abuse is, I mean, rampant as well.
Yeah.
And that seems to be, of course, we have other things like those with depressive symptoms and other psychosocial challenges as well.
Good. So now that you can identify, I love the fact that people are reaching out to get help.
That is important,
That
and we
is
have
important.
seen that trend.
Yeah, and so I like that. I like that aspect that people are aware and they know that, listen, I can get help, and that is important. Great. Today we're in conversation with, of course, Dr. Tahira Ramsuk. She is a clinical psychologist, as you heard, involved in so many other aspects and different things as well when it comes to healing and intervention. Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely. It's better to be proactive.
Exactly. Get involved. Get to the important thing is getting to the root of the problem and working together to find a solution. Yeah. Social media, an impact on our youth. Social media is, it's not just the youth but the elderly as well, but today we're talking about the youth because we understand if we can educate the youth, if we could reach out and make that impact, what a better tomorrow we'll have when it comes to our leaders in the future, because the youth today are certainly going to be the future in terms of mothers, fathers, you work at, they are our future, and if we don't invest and we don't inculcate the right morals and values, as it is sometimes we say, this generation is a lost one. We question certain things they do, so your take on if you could elaborate a little bit, that would be great.
Of course. So I'd have you know, Zelisa, it's always good to know the statistics. So worldwide, there are billions of youths who use social media. Now, of course, the data for Trinidad and Tobago is limited, but it does show similar trends in the sense that a significant proportion of our youth are using social media platforms.
Yeah.
So why is social media so appealing to our youth? I mean, that's a big question, right?
It is a big question, and when you think of it more and more, it's alarming. When, and I like to use this example because it's what I experience firsthand, but I also hear people talk about it in other conversations. Even when you're socializing with family and friends, everybody's on they're socializing, but this phone tends to take all the attention.
It does.
And it's taking away from our children as well, I feel, in development of how to communicate, how to laugh, how to play.
Right.
I mean, growing up, we played Monopoly and we played Scrabble and we
board
games or whatever it was, when we got involved with our family and our cousins and everybody. That's what it was about, playing a cricket match, doing things, swimming, But now it's different.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely different, Zelisa. Everyone, as you rightly said, are just on their phones scrolling, and the truth is that we have to understand why, and I want to specifically talk about the adolescent phase, because we're here to talk about the impact of social media on our youth in particular.
Correct.
So let's understand now, the adolescent phase is a critical stage of development. This is where we have identity formation. There is a strong desire for acceptance and a sense of belonging, as well as increased sensitivity to peer approval or peer rejection. Now, what is interesting is that the teenagers' brains are still developing. I like to tell parents, think about it as it being under construction, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's still developing, and especially the parts of the brain that is responsible for impulse control, decision making, planning, prioritizing, organization, it's still under development. So it leaves our teens very vulnerable when they're now on social media, which is open to so many threats. Now, what is important to note as well is that social media, the way it has been designed, we know when we post a picture, a reel, a video, whatever it may be, we get likes and comments, as you all will know. Now, every time these youths receive that heart that pops up, what does that do? It creates what we call these dopamine hits. What is that? It's short bursts of pleasure that activates our brain's reward system.
Right.
When that reward system is activated, Zelisa, we then crave more and more stimulation.
Yeah.
And that is what leaves our youths hooked.
I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely correct. The fact is they feel they're watched, they love with their heart, they're the center of attention, they get attention.
There we go.
So they seek more.
They seek more.
You know, I tell people, especially people in the media, it's in their blood. It's like they're an addiction. That when they're in it, they're in it, and when they're out of it, they feel as if something is missing. It becomes part of, and that kind of link, and I could relate in terms of feeling loved and feeling wanted and feeling important. And so, are you? I mean, in your role, in your hat, in your understanding, because you're at a different level, or you see things in it because you've trained and certified. This is what you studied. This is what you do. So you know about research. You could pick up things we can't.
Right.
You could look at somebody's face and their expressions and know deep what is going on. We can't. You're trained and certified. And so would you think then that it is a lack from the parent or parents, somewhere along the line, a disconnection, and that is why they gravitate? Or what could we do as parents to solve that situation or that problem? What is it that we are lacking, or rather we need to do to help our children not be dependent or become dependent or hooked, as we may see?
That is an excellent question, and I'm sure many of our viewers wonder the same thing. Now, the research does show, Zelisa, that one of the main reasons that our youth turn to social media is they feel a sense of disconnect between with their own parents, their own siblings, or they may not be connecting with their peers. Because remember that adolescent phase, they are seeking that validation and approval from their peer group.
Right.
And so if they are struggling, remember we talked about earlier on, we have people who may have learning challenges and other mental health challenges.
Yes, yeah.
And if you are struggling, then it is understandable why you are now turning, or why they may turn to social media to fill a void. They may be lonely. They may be escaping the pressures and the stressors of everyday life.
And the fact is, as parents or adults, we are so consumed with our commitments or what we are dedicated to or what we are committed to or what we need to do, that sometimes we neglect to even understand that we are neglecting. We are there, but we're not there.
That's so true.
And we are not aware of what they take away from what we say or how we behave or how things, how we manage our time. We may not understand what it would be their takeaway from it. And you're absolutely correct. I think you're hitting on some very important points. So as parents or guardians or grandparents, because sometimes children spend more time with their grandparents than with their parents. Huh?
You're right.
They're the aftercare, they're the ones, So for those of you out there, now that you are aware of some of the things that we neglect to see or to understand, or again, we're there but we're not there. We're hearing, but are we really listening?
Right, and you asked Zelisa, and to answer the question, you asked, well, what can we do as parents?
And I want you to hold that, stick a pin right there, because we've got to take some important messages, and when we return, we'll get the answers that we're seeking. Stay with us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Join me, your host, Smitty, on A Man's Perspective, right here on Real TV from 6 to 7 p.m. every Monday. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in real time, right here on Real TV.
I am Zelisa Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa. We continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. Today I'm in conversation with Dr. Tahira Ramsuk. She is a clinical psychologist, and today she's here to empower us, to give us the knowledge and information when it comes to social media and the impact on our youth, our children. All right? Welcome back, Doc. I know I did ask you prior about what do we need to do, because I'm so anxious,
Yes.
even as a parent, seeking knowledge, seeking information on how to deal, what do we need to do to be on the right track. But perhaps, if it's okay with you, perhaps I think we should perhaps go into some of the signs that we may see in our children, the different things. We may think, well, he or she is now a teenager, and so they enter their own zone, or they're behaving like this, and they're locking up in their room, or they're giving you a little attitude. Even before they reach a teenager, they're giving you a little, the tone change, the way they say things, the way they, you realize. I see it with my daughter all the time. In a matter of a week, I would say, but this is not the same child that was, different things that you see, attitudes and different things, the way they express themselves. You see maturity, you see growth, you realize, but this is not my little child anymore.
Yes.
So perhaps if you could, if it's okay, before we go into the fact of what do we need to do, perhaps talk to us about some of the things that we need to be aware of.
Yes, so Zelisa, if it is, especially earlier on we talked about the tendencies of addiction, where it's
Yeah.
very easy for them to become hooked. Now, some of the things we need to look out for is if our child is constantly on that phone, so compulsive usage, to the point where they may be neglecting other responsibilities. So their homework, their chores, other things, hanging out with friends, because we see that, I see that in my office sometimes, parents come and they say, no, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
All my child is doing is, they may go to school, but I have some parents say as soon as they get in that car, they pull out that phone and they're scrolling to the point sometimes for the entire ride, there is no conversation, even if the parents is trying, but the child is so eager to see what's happening on the social media.
May I say something?
Of course.
I don't blame the child, you know. I blame the parent. I blame the adult, because you are in control. You are the adult, and you are the one that should set rules and guidelines. You follow what I'm saying?
Of course.
So if you know, first of all, you're going on in the vehicle, and that, I spoke with, who was it? Recently, where we spoke about, you know, even the babies, for little ones, you see people hooked.
Yes.
Try not to do that. And so I would go back to saying, I blame the parents or the guardian there. What you doing with your phone at that time, you're not supposed to.
Right.
With me and my daughter, I would say to you, I do allow a phone time, but it's only on a weekend.
Right.
And it's only after you do your homework and your revision for the week.
That's
I give you a little
excellent.
time on the phone.
Right.
But I also say you have a time.
Right.
Because then you have mommy and you time alone, and then there are things that, so those are things that I would learn because of people like yourself and others who would have, you know, given that information.
Right.
But it's about really being a parent. Are you really being present as a parent?
You brought
And
up an
allowing-
excellent point.
So don't complain.
Yeah.
If you are the, I'm just saying, I'm starting to be corrected, but I see it that way.
So you brought up an important point there, Zelisa. It is important for our youths, our teens especially, to feel safe and connected to their parents. If we have not established a sense of safety, security, and trust with our kids, then we cannot expect them to want to open up to us. So it starts there. In fact, we start establishing that sense of safety and security from infancy. How do we do it? When we get their needs met, their physical needs, right? So food, clothing, shelter. But of course, their other needs, their emotional needs.
Right.
If they cry, we soothe, we change their diaper, we do other things.
Yes.
As they get older, how do we meet those needs?
Yeah.
Well, it might look like ensuring they get their homework done, helping if they need assistance, or if we can't help them, because truth be told, parents don't know everything and not always in that position to help.
Absolutely correct.
Being able to get them the assistance that they need to help them really thrive. So it starts, as I said, from infancy, and as they get older, being able to meet their, especially those emotional needs, is super important to build that sense of safety, trust, and connection. So especially when they hit those teenage years, they feel more comfortable opening up to their parents.
The opening that level of feeling, you could communicate and say anything. You're not
Absolutely.
afraid to
You're
open
not
up and
afraid.
express yourself. Because that something you just said is really important. When children, I think, or even teenagers, do not feel comfortable, or they have that fear of going to their parent to talk about anything, then something is wrong. Because the fact is they get the wrong information from the wrong people.
There we go.
Or that's when they gravitate to, you know. And so I think, so this is something, I mean, you could tell us here, this is something that you don't have to wait till a teenager. This is something that should be from yay high. You can tell mommy or daddy anything. Please feel free to talk to us. And that's what I say to my child all the time. Please, anything, don't hesitate. You could tell me anything. And I think it's about how we listen as well. And how we, you follow what I'm saying?
Oh, you're absolutely
If we
spot
knock
on.
them down or we whatever,
Well, there
they're
we
going to
go.
have that fear of being able to. I think it's important for us to listen to. Shut
We
our
have
mouth
to
sometimes
listen.
because I like to jump in, I'll tell you. And so I learned, give her a hearing.
Oh yes, and you're speaking about active listening. So presence, we've been speaking about this theme of presence for our entire conversation. That is so important, but what is presence? What is active listening? It means being able to sit in this space, being able to feel what they're feeling as well. Not on the phone while they're speaking to us, scrolling.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Looking at them, making eye contact, leaning with curiosity. Try to understand where they are coming from as opposed to just going straight to lecturing. Because when we just jump to lecture them, they get defensive.
True.
It comes across as an attack.
True. I know exactly what you're saying. It's true.
So we really want to actively listen. As I said, leaning curiosity is key. Well, I noticed, to start with your observations, well, I noticed every time you jump into the car and we're on our way home, you know, you pull out the phone and you're scrolling, we're never able to talk. I'm just wondering, is it that you want to just catch up and see what's the latest on social media, catch up with your friends? What's happening? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they may have provided, again, as I said, that they have established that sense of safety and they feel comfortable to share with their parents. They may open up and tell us, you know, well, yes, I do want to see what so-and-so posted is someone's birthday. I want to say happy birthday to somebody, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then we can gently start talking about, well, you know, that is important for you to connect with your friends. So it's not like we don't want you to, but it is equally important to strike that balance. And we start talking about the importance of, yes, connecting, but also having time where you have screen-free activities as well.
But I'm asking, should we not be able to say to our children, well, you're allowed to use the phone at this time and you're not allowed at this time?
Absolutely.
Or, you know, set some rules.
Set some boundaries.
So you know then, or, you know, certain days or certain times you are allowed or you're not allowed. You know,
I agree with you, Zelisa. I tell parents all the time, you need to set boundaries. You spoke about this earlier on, Zelisa, where you said, as parents, you are the ones in control. How many times now we're seeing it being the other way around?
Exactly.
But it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Parents, you are the one in control. You can set those boundaries. I'll give you an example. At meal times.
Yeah.
Because it is important to have that space with your family for bonding, quality time, screen-free time.
Correct.
Right? So when you sit, you might say, okay, during dinner, for example, I expect. So we set the rules. So you don't say, well, you have to, I expect. So you lay the ground rules there.
Okay, so we don't say, I don't want that phone at this time.
Right, because
how do we say it? What are we supposed to say
so
then?
we can say, well, I expect.
Okay.
Right? That's a gentler word. I expect
Yeah.
that during dinner time, no one is to be on their phones. This is including siblings, parents, no one. And during this time, well, we will share our meal while talking about each other's day, doing a check-in.
But we also need to not cross the line with ourselves as well with regards to, you can't be telling the child you can't have whatever, but then you living on your phone as well.
Well, there we go. So you're speaking about modeling. We have to remember that parents are children's first role models. So as parents, we have to be able to model the right skills and show them as well that as soon as I hear my phone ping, right, so, you know, that notification comes, I'm not grabbing it to see what's going on. What message is that sending, Zelisa? It sends the message that whatever is going on the phone is more important than my conversation with you.
I love that. You're absolutely correct. So we show there and then, I prioritize, you are important at this time. And then that's what you give is what you get.
There you go.
I love it. Great advice this morning, right here on Real TV. Thank you so much for choosing us. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance, is thermally and acoustically insulated, provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Hi, I'm Joanne Ogaro, and welcome to Smart Talk. SMART is the acronym for the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
And I am Melissa Brown. Smart Talk exists to give single mothers and families real conversation, real data, real advocacy.
And I am Shermaine Wickham Howe, President and founder of the Single Mothers Association, highlighting all issues affecting single mothers, facts, situation, solution, empowerment. So tune in at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. every Wednesday on Real TV with Smart Talk.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 2926470 or WhatsApp us at 3847142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, our regional and international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. For those of you on the Tego app, remember to tell your friends about downloading this for free on your phone and take Real TV with you real time, anytime. So, you could be part of our great programming, all right? Tell your friends and family members. And of course, all those of you on the Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, thanks again for allowing us into your homes and into your hearts as we continue to bring in strengths, people who are trained and certified and are really good at what they do to help us to be better. And when we know knowledge is power, I always say this, so when you have the power of the knowledge, you make better choices. And of course, we'll have better tomorrows. I'm in conversation with Dr. Tahira Ramsuk, and of course she is a clinical psychologist, and she's talking to us today about our children and the influence of social media, what we can, what we should do as parents, as guardians. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Zelisa.
It's important, I believe, when it comes to our children. I think we learn. I mean, even though we learn, I come from a family where I was an auntie for many years. So my siblings had children long before me.
Right.
And so I was the auntie then. Now I'm the aunt. Now I'm a mother. And so I would always refer, or I would always look at the elder ones who are at university or now, doing great things with their lives. I always tried to use them as an example for my child.
Yes.
But then you realize that we are in a different time. It's not the same. What they did then, it's different. And I think each child would be different. You have 5 fingers, none are the same. I have one. But for those that would have more than one, they've had their own personalities, they develop different. And I think it's also important that what you would have experienced with the first child, you understand you're not going to experience that with any one of your children. It's different. Absolutely. And that's important to understand. And those are things that perhaps we learn hands-on, we learn as they grow, and how to deal with each child in a different way.
Of course.
In terms of this new generation, as we were talking about, the child of today, of this time, they're clearly different. They think differently, they act differently, they have different wants, different desires, things like that. I mean, as parents, how we identify certain things. I like the fact that you say, we set rules.
Yes.
We live those rules as well. So we can't say to a child, you know, smoking is bad, don't smoke, but then you send them for the cigarettes, so you're smoking, you're a chain smoker. Things like that.
Right.
You can't say to a child, well, when you consume too much alcohol, it's really bad. But then you drunk, or your partner drunk, or whoever's drunk.
There we go.
You know, you have
Doesn't
to
work
stand
like
for
that.
it. Does exactly. So you have to set a standard as well, but live that standard.
Yes.
Yeah?
So we have to model the right skills, Zelisa. I want to also talk about, you know, there are two sides of the coin when we look at social media. And as much as, yes, there are many negative impacts, there are some positives.
Yes, yeah.
And one of that being social media is that space for youths to connect with others. And I would say here, especially those who struggle socially. So we know that there are a lot of youths who simply struggle to connect with their peers, that face-to-face interaction is very difficult. So for these youths, social media is a lot easier to navigate, right? So they still get and feel that sense of belonging, but they don't have that aspect of in-person interaction, the eye contact and so on. So that is one aspect in which, you know, it may be helpful. It is also important to remember that social media can present a creative outlet and space. So those who are into music, art, poetry, whatever it may be, it allows them that space for self-expression. So we cannot underestimate the value that these things can bring as well. It is also important to remember that social media, we now have access to so much information, more than we would have ever had before.
Good, there are things that I don't know, I just Google it and I know. Sometimes even doing revision or homework, as you just said, not everything we may know, we may forget. And you Google it and it's right there. So that's the beauty, huh?
That is.
This is the new encyclopedia, you know. I mean, we grew up on encyclopedias, but the fact is to have it, and it's something I say to my daughter as well. Let's Google it together and see, get on. There are things that I may not always know, questions that she may ask, and I say, Lord, Father, where do I find you? But let's Google it together and let's read it together, and we learn together.
And
so I do things like that, yeah.
Right? Even on social media, I mean, you go and there's so much information via these influencers. We are in the age of the influencers, as you know. And the content creators. So they post so much information from beauty to fashion to fitness, travel,
food,
finances, food. I mean, I myself, right? I have to admit, look at those cooking videos and so on.
Yes.
So there's so much information at our fingertips. But what I want to caution, and I want our viewers to understand this, Zelisa, is that not all information, even put out there by these influencers, are accurate. Now, China, I want to talk about what China has done. China has implemented some policies and laws and so on, whereby you need to prove that you are certified and qualified to speak and share content on certain topics.
Love that, and that's what I agree. Yeah.
I agree. So that is an excellent way. I think we should look towards doing something like that in our own country, so that we ensure, because we know our youth are vulnerable, they take things at face value. Because their brains are still developing, they are not able to critically evaluate and look at information.
Well, I stand to be corrected here, but I believe recently I saw something where, and again I stand to be corrected because I saw it on social media, where our Prime Minister is now saying that she's looking at not allowing a certain age group to be on, and when I saw it, I was saying, if this really happens, I agree with it. If this is real, I agree. I'll tell you, that's my opinion. I totally agree with it, because
I did see that, Zelisa, and you're right.
Okay, so you saw it as well.
I saw it as well. I don't think much was said, but she did. Even our Archbishop, Charles Jason Gordon, would have supported the move.
Exactly. So
Australia has implemented this, for those who don't know. So those youths who are under the age of 16 are actually not allowed to have social media platforms.
And I agree with that. I stand firm and I say I
absolutely
agree with that. You're absolutely correct, because where are you getting your information? Is it credible? Is it not? You don't know what to believe. And now with AI, you really don't know what is real and what is not.
You're right.
So you really have to be very careful. I told you off air, I had a conversation with my daughter with regards to being very, a lot of people I see post their children and pictures of
Yes.
their children on
Yes.
social media. I don't ever or hardly ever.
And I
If
think
I
that's
have
a
to
great
share a
move.
picture with myself and my daughter, I do it in the confinement of a family chat, that we've got a chat, my
Yes.
siblings and I.
So
and my
that's
nephews
private
and nieces.
between you
Yeah,
guys.
it's a family chat that we have, and if we have to share things, we share it there. But I'm very particular, and I told very recently, I told my daughter about, I don't want her ever at any time posting any photos of herself, and I went on to explain why. I said,
Yes.
because they can take your face and put a naked body to that. Would you like that? How would you feel if somebody did that? So you know you cannot do that now to allow anybody to do that.
I love what you said there, Zelisa, because you asked her, you went beyond just saying, well, don't do it, and then we leave them with no explanation. How do you feel? Because oftentimes they make very impulsive decisions without recognizing what can be the consequences. But when you tap into the feelings part of it, they recognize, wait, if I were to find out someone did this to my photo, or it also leaves them vulnerable to cyberbullying,
Yes.
right? So that's another major, very rampant in our country as well.
Other people luring them into doing, yeah.
There we go. So important things we're talking about. So when you tap into the feelings, how is that making you feel? Then they realize, but wait, sometimes when I really go on these platforms, I feel worse about myself.
Right.
I am not feeling empowered or uplifted.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel worse by the time
Yeah.
I come off because there's so much comparison.
And the
as
reason
well.
I've been getting a little more involved into talking about social media with her is because she has this really good, nice friend in class, from school. And so very recently they started playing little games.
Right.
And so I'm aware, the other child's mother is aware, because we communicate
Yes,
first
which is
and
great.
we know and we monitor. And I go are you okay? What's going on? Hi. And I call the
Yes,
child's name and
yes.
they do the same. And that's where that conversation started after that. But I like, and I don't think it's making her older or more mature. I think it's important that when I talk to my daughter, I also ask her opinion.
Absolutely.
When I make it's her and I really,
Yes.
as you know. And so when I make decisions, I don't make it alone. I do encourage her to be part of those, especially when it entails both of us, or her, or things like that. I think it's important to ask, to get them involved. I think it's important to, how do you feel about this? Or what do you think about this?
We need their input as well, because it sends a message that, hey, this is important. I see it is important for you. It is important for me.
Right.
Let's work together
Yeah.
and find a solution for this.
Yeah, yeah. You're correct. I always say that to her, I always say, listen, we've got this will pass, but there's always a solution to everything. And so I think that's important, that we have that open communication with our children. We explain to them. I know sometimes I'll be very honest, sometimes I wonder where she come up with these questions.
Yes.
But then I say to myself, if she knew the answer, she wouldn't be asking me. And I am obligated to give her an honest opinion and an honest answer.
You're right, Zelisa. And in fact, it's a great thing that she's even asking.
Oh
Because
God,
then-
she asks questions I don't know
All the time.
sometimes where, yeah.
Yes, and again, she's asking you, so she's going to the right source, right, to her mother, right, as opposed to going on the internet and searching for these answers, right, at that very tender age. They don't know, they're searching for their identity.
Yeah,
They don't know who
and
they are.
believe you may think they don't have an opinion, but they very well have an opinion. Recently we were discussing somebody that we know that always drinking or whatever, an acquaintance. And she jumped in and she said, but mommy, this is really madness, This man always drunk and cannot behave himself. Why he don't take his money and buy something for his children?
Oh,
And I
wow.
thought, so I laughed at the moment, but then after I did respond to her later that that evening. I said, Malika, you know, that was a very good observation.
Yes.
You can't say that in front of people. You and I could say it. You have to be careful.
There we go.
You have to know not to, you know, you can't
Yes,
be
not everything,
entitled
so you
to
know
an
how to filter.
opinion.
Yes.
But say it with mommy and I together now. Don't say it in front of everybody.
Oh,
kind
that's
of thing.
excellent, Zelisa. You use it as a teaching opportunity as well.
Yeah.
So you're not shunning her for what she did. She
Yeah.
was right. But hey,
Yeah.
you know, it's not quite the right environment to say something like that. Next time, this is
Yes,
what we do instead.
but they're entitled to their opinion, eh? And you
course.
realize that they sometimes know more than you think they
Yeah.
know, and they have an opinion.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you just have
they
to
do.
sometimes listen, absorb, and then know how to respond.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're right.
But I'll be honest, I'm only human. I'm a parent just like any other. And there are times I snap. There are times I am very firm. There are times I say, here, listen, give me 10 minutes.
Yes.
I'm being,
Yes.
I'm being very honest here,
But
very
you know what,
transparent.
Zelisa? At least
Yeah.
you are modeling to your child
Yeah.
that, hey, when I get angry, I can step away from this
Yeah.
and come back, as
Yeah.
opposed to exploding, telling
Yeah.
her off. You know what I mean? Well, that's a great strategy.
Well, there are times I'm very firm, I'm very honest, so I might tell her something, and then after I realize I was a little too harsh, and
Well,
I
then
would
you
go
take
back. But no,
accountability.
but then I go back when we're both calm, and I say, Meeks, you know, what happened today, mommy? Really sorry. I mean, didn't mean to.
There we go.
But it happened, and I will try my best. You know.
Yes.
So I have to look at different ways because
You're human.
we learn as we grow.
Yes.
This is the program Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Dr. Tahira Ramsuk. Stay with us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32, Saddle Road, Maribel.
I am Zelisa Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. And today I'm in conversation with Dr. Tahira Ramsuk, and for she is a clinical psychologist, and she's talking to us about social media and our children. And I think this is such an important conversation. It's a must, and it's conversations that should continue to develop to help us as parents deal and cope in these times, because we also have our burdens, we also have
Absolutely.
our challenges on top of being a parent, and how do we not cross that line, you know?
Right.
And how do we aim to be better parents, you know? Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Solutions.
Yes, the solutions. So I mean, I want to recap what we have
Sure,
been speaking about.
certainly.
So we have spoken about setting boundaries.
Right.
Healthy boundaries in that, you know, screen time, no screens during dinner time and so on. We spoke about leaning in with curiosity as opposed to attacking our children when speaking with them.
Right.
It is also important, apart from parents, because Zelisa, this is a shared responsibility. As much as parents do have an important role to play in protecting and guiding our youth and their usage on social media, we have to look at the role of our schools, of communities, of our government, and how they can play their part in protecting and guiding our youth.
Absolutely correct.
So I want to talk about the importance of community involvement. Now, the research shows, Zelisa, and this is not just me saying this, that we need to shift. There has been so much focus on the self. Now, don't get me wrong, we should take care of ourselves. Self-care is important, right? Setting personal goals for achievement and so on. But it is equally important to engage in activities outside of the self. So involvement in community initiatives, fundraisers, charitable events, NGOs are very important because they offer that space to build skills that otherwise we may not see being built through social media. Things like leadership, building empathy and kindness, learning how to plan and organize initiatives, all key traits and skills that we know we need to be well-rounded youths.
Correct.
Right? And I want to talk about the work. I spoke about Childline earlier on.
Yes.
That is an excellent work. There is another NGO, Call to Action for Social Change Foundation. Now, in 2024, CTA, as we call it, would have launched an initiative called the ABCs of Parenting, the Trimbago Way.
Brilliant.
And I know some of you guys may have seen these videos. It was actually aired across on TV as well as across all social media platforms. And we have different presenters, all from CTA themselves, on the board and so on, as well as other personalities we brought in to speak on traits. So we went from letters A through Z to speak on traits we should embody as parents. Of course, in the form of short videos and reels, because we want to capture our audience.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
Now that you're, yes.
And we got amazing feedback. I can't tell you how many people either openly commented on our platforms, messaged us. We had schools, Zelisa, reach out to us to come in and speak about these videos and talk to parents.
Yeah, brilliant.
So it's excellent work. And Zelisa, I want to encourage our viewers, if we have any youths listening, please use the opportunities. I always tell people, what good is our knowledge if we are not using it to help others or for the betterment of our society?
Absolutely correct. And I welcome some of those videos on Real TV.
We would love to share.
I also would like to openly extend an invitation to have the NGOs, you know, the heads come in and talk a little bit about what you all do and how you do it and how you could continue to help. I think more hands on deck is always, I welcome help, I welcome assistance, I welcome knowledge, because that's the only way we understand or see things in a different perspective, in a different light, in order to change things or to break that chain. Exactly.
Yes.
So that we could be better, we could improve, we could grow, we could evolve, and we could help our youth, because the more and more you even look at social media, you can't help but say, what? Do we have a lost generation? What is really going on here? And these shorts that we see and these little influences can certainly have a positive, as you said, or a negative impact on our children. And so I think conversations as such are extremely important.
Absolutely.
It must be
Open
ongoing.
dialogue. That is what we need to educate, right? And education brings empowerment. So when we equip our educators, our professionals with the skills, we place them in a better position to help protect, guide our youth. And that is what we need more of, Zelisa. I'm sure you would agree with me.
Most certainly, we need more people like you. I mean, you step out in terms of beyond the call of duty to do what you're doing, and I really applaud you for that. You know, I'm trying to help, and it just shows, as we started saying, you're very passionate about what you do. You're a humble soul, you're so approachable, you're so easy to relate, and you know, we are very blessed to have people such as your good self.
And we are blessed to have you too, Zelisa.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
I mean, it's through programs like yours and others that you have on your station where we educate, empower, and guide parents, because we all need it.
We all need it. Your closing comments for today.
So, you know, in closing, I want to reiterate the importance of protecting and guiding our youth, but this being a shared responsibility. So yes, we acknowledge that, yes, parents, you play a critical role, and I know that there is no manual to tell us exactly what we need to do, but certainly we can get so much information through our ministries, through our NGOs, through programs such as Zelisa's, that brings awareness and gives you practical skills and tools that you can use to help guide and protect our youth, because I would have you know, they need that guidance and protection. Remember, we spoke about their brains are still under construction, as I like to call it. So please remember that we need to constantly monitor, to step in, to guide and protect.
Such great, important advice. What is more important is that you take it and you apply it. You know, that application. Try from today, not tomorrow, but from today. To have small steps, open communications. How's your day? You know,
regular check-ins.
Yeah, and try to always be in the present with your kids as well. I think that is important.
Presence trumps everything. Our parents, I want educators to know this, teachers even, your presence means so much more to a child. And they know and they pick up. We might think a simple act of picking up that phone, you know, and we don't realize what message it's sending.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, and I will certainly take a lot of what you said and try to apply, try my very best at all times to be conscious, so that we could be the best that we could, you know.
Because we can only try, right? Efforts. Just as we try our best, we want to praise our youths as well for their efforts. Remember that we can't expect perfection as well, Zelisa. We were talking about this. As humans, we are flawed beings. So we can never be perfect, but we can strive to always be better.
I love that. Always try to be better. I say that to my child all the time. You set a goal for yourself and you work towards it, but what is important, always try to better every step. And these are things I think it's important, you know, just as it's important that we love them. And like you said it earlier on, yes, we have a duty and responsibility to provide a good, safe environment, a nice, clean home, love, food, but we have a duty and responsibility of giving ourselves as well to our children. And you gave such good, strong advice, and I thank you kindly.
Thank you so much.
I know that you're very consumed. I know that now I understand that you're involved in so many other things, but I trust and hope we'll try to get a little more out of you, because it's people with like your good self who has the strength and the knowledge. That is what it is, you know, the experience. I mean, 10 years, she looks like a Barbie doll, but she's been in this for over a decade, huh? So she's trained, she's certified, she understands, she has the experience combined with her knowledge. A great teacher, wonderful guru. So we look forward to hearing and seeing more of your beautiful self.
Of course.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we're very grateful.
Always a pleasure to be on your program.
Thank you. We're grateful. I'm humbled. All the best. This is where we're going to wrap things up. Please take what she says very seriously. More importantly, apply it. Let's try to be the better version of ourselves today and moving forward, all right? Please be good law-abiding citizens, do what is right at all times, and here's reminding you that with God and only God, all things are possible. Keep smiling, be positive, know the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for choosing us. I am Zelisa Budusing Rupani. See you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are saying good afternoon. And we'd like to say that this program called Inspired is the best, not only in the West, in the North and the South and the East. So we are delighted to have you this evening. As you know, and as our promo indicates, we are trying to turn hearts from foolishness unto wisdom. We are trying to introduce people to God and to have faith and trust in Him. This afternoon, we have a very special guest. I'm going to withhold his name, during this first segment, but we will tell you who he is later on. So right now, today we're looking at youth and choices. The guest we have this evening is fabulous when it comes to family life, building relationships with God, having faith in God. He's a believer, and we are happy to have him this evening. However, we just want to show you this video clip, and we want to tell you, you must protect your children.
Dealers Association Crime Talks in Enterprise on Wednesday.
Seventh-day Adventist Pastor Clive Doughton stresses the importance of the family unit, noting the trauma that can come from severed homes. He is calling on parents, mothers and fathers, to set good examples for their children, to be there for them, and to protect them from predators. He says this is inclusive of sexual predators, one of which he had a close encounter with as a teenager, and drug dealers.
You know what drug dealers? Drug dealers are rhinocerotic, crocodilian, alligatorial vampire. That's what a drug dealer is. And protect your children, especially your sons, from those parasitic vampires. That's what they are. They're mashing up the country.
Pastor Doughton stresses the importance of unity in the fight against crime, as he calls on people to break down barriers that cause division, including religion.
How Trinidad will change is by the power of God. And when the power of God comes, the Hindu would love Muslim would